So I don't know about you guys, but I've woken up with a huge smile on my face because that yesterday was absolutely on the money and what we should be expecting of this team week in, week out. Welcome to my match reaction for Fenerbahce 0, Forest 3. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to a happy Wolfie today because that was one of the nicest evenings. It's been a long week, it's been a heavy week, and you just need sometimes your team to step up and put that smile on your face. And that's exactly what they did for me yesterday. If you got a smile on your face as well, let me know by making sure you've hit the like button, hype this video up, and make sure you're subscribed if you're new. Coming up, we got a lot to talk about. We obviously have to talk about the manager. We have to talk about these players. We got to talk about the knock-on effect to all of this. And I want to kick it off with Vítor Pereira because I was more than impressed with him yesterday. He went beyond what I expected in the first game. Now, before you lot start saying in the comments, and I know there will be a few saying, one step at a time, don't get ahead of yourself, don't overhype these things up and everything. Manager bounce this and the other. And no doubt we'll hear that tonight on Gore. We'll be on about, I think, 8 p.m. tonight. I'm judging what I saw on the pitch and I'm judging what I know these players have within the tank. And just to start on the manager, I think his post-match presser was one of the best ones I've seen all season from any manager. His first words out of his mouth was, that was the players. That was the fans. They're nothing to do with me. And that's what a manager should be like. A manager doesn't need those accolades, those recognitions, or to self-big himself up in front of everyone. He should let his team and the football do the talking. And that's what Forest did. Now, I don't want to talk about previous managers, but there was a previous manager from not too long ago who would literally have been talking about how his tactics were doing this, how everything he got was spot on and everything. That's someone who needs that recognition, and that's not what you want in a manager. He talked about how he knows the talent of the players and everything else. And this is important, and I'll tell you why it's important, because the players will be listening to those post-match interviews. They will be listening to see how the manager feels about it. Obviously, this is a public way he's going to address it and a private way in the changing rooms that he's going to do it as well. But we saw the knock-on effect after Wrexham when it was all about don't knock on my door and this is why I'm not picking you and what have you. And compare that to last night is absolute night and day. And he got it absolutely spot on. And he's just been a calming influence coming into the clubs. You can see Murillo's interview as well. By the way, how good is his English now? It's like absolutely spot on. How relaxed he was, how he's already thinking about Liverpool at the weekend, how much he loved that goal he scored yesterday. By the way, what a goal it was. And the important thing, again, just to touch back on the manager, I know I'm a bit all over the place here. He did exactly what I hoped he was going to do. I said at the start of the game, surely his instructions just need to be, forget what's happened before. You guys are good players. Go out, express yourselves, enjoy it. And here's a couple of little tactics just to get you started with. And that's exactly what it felt. You saw Murillo playing with freedom, Sangare bossing the midfield, Anderson looking good, Gibbs-White as well, I thought was exceptional yesterday, apart from in front of goal. And Igor Jesus looked an absolute beast up front. Just to pick out a few performances, I could probably tell you guys good things, and there was plenty of good said on the player ratings, so check those out. I'll leave them on the end screen at the end. But I just like the goals as well. I love that goal from Murillo. I told you there'll be a centre-back played with freedom. That's exactly what we saw with Murillo. I love that we scored a corner goal. Gibbs-White was strong at that near post, flicked it onto Jesus, who was up there in the air somewhere, and put it into the back of the net. And then the third goal, all right, it was tight, but again, well worked. Movement, quick movement. You saw players moving forward. You saw passes happening. There was a point in the first half, about 15 to 20 minutes in, where Forest were on 92% possession. And again, this goes back to the manager. He doesn't want to take, the credit for it. But he knows, and he said in his post-match interview, get into them quickly, quieten the crowd down, control the game. And that puts them on the back foot. And Forest for the first 20, 30 minutes were absolutely phenomenal. In fact, all the way until half-time. Okay, there was a moment after the half-time kicked off in the second half where you just felt maybe Forest were going to do Forest things. There was the penalty shout in the first half. A great save from Ortega, who was brilliant as well early in the second half. But outside of that, honestly, it was a comfortable win. And this is what has frustrated me all season, is we know the potential in these players. We saw most of them last season under Nuno, what they could produce and how good they are. That suddenly hasn't vanished with Nuno in his suitcase when he got fired by Marinakis. Those players are still there, but they need to just keep stepping up. They got to ignore all the noise, all the headlines and everything else and focus on just playing football. But what's clearly apparent with these players is they are a bunch of players that need to feel loved and need to feel relaxed to produce football like that and need to feel they're in the environment they want to be in. Do I like that? Not necessarily. But you know what? If Vítor can keep that going and he can keep that atmosphere and the vibes, and now he's got their buy-in because of the result yesterday, who knows what happens at Liverpool? Look, Liverpool is going to be a tough game. We'll cover that off tonight and the build-up into Sunday as well. But I'm not expecting that Forest are just going to be back to winning 6-7 games in a row like we did last year and everything else. I'm realistic as well. Liverpool's going to be tough. But it just feels like it's the start of some momentum here. 3 good goals yesterday, a clean sheet. We don't need to worry about next Thursday to a certain extent. Let's not get complacent. All the focus can now turn to Liverpool. But the important thing is we've seen these false starts 3, 4, 5 times this season. This one to me feels slightly different. I don't know why, but it just does. I feel like everyone's now engaged. I feel like Marinakis has said to him, right, stop messing around. This is time for business. And this is exactly what's happening. So if we can just build that momentum, not just have a false start, but push forward, get a few wins in the league, get ourselves deep into this competition. I've been looking at our path into the final already. Yes, I am getting ahead of myself. And you know what? We are in a favourable side of the draw, but let that one play out when it does. But right now, I'm just happy. And I don't even want to look too far ahead. We've had enough stress as a fan base this season to last a lifetime. And we've had stress after stress in our lifetimes as Forest fans anyway. Let's take this moment and just enjoy that performance, enjoy that result, and enjoy the great performance we saw. And let's just hope they can replicate it over and over again for the rest of the season. I'm not here sitting here saying we're going to win every single match going forward. But if we play like that, that is the style of football I am 1,000,000% behind. We had the pressing, which was brilliant. You had the defensive shape, which was excellent. We didn't have long balls, and when we did have the odd long ball, it was the right choice at the right time. And the passing and the movement and the speed of the transition was absolutely on the money. So I'm enjoying it. Let's hope it continues. Hopefully you guys are smiling, and I'm sure it will be a happy old Reds tonight. So we'll see you then. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Make sure you check out the player ratings if you haven't already. Come on, you Reds.